What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout Whatever here, and today I'm going to be doing the what if Deku was the Ghost Rider, Part 4, in the RWBY universe. Part 4. Anyway, B4. Oh, never mind. Okay, so, here, trying to just adjust everything. Right there, okay. Now, where we last left off in this whole season, like the freaking RWBY episodes, we went off to the whole point where Deku was mad at a man named Carter, which, if you don't know who Carter is, he's basically the bully, but in the very end, he stopped bullying, and he actually stopped bullying people, in public, and he made sure to clean up his act. Not all the way, but Deku stopped him, by using this person right here. And if you guys know that, then you will know that, it got the job done. Now, where we're going to start off is during the whole thing with the fauna and Weiss not liking them. Well, we all know what happens next. Deku hears, she hears Blake's, not Blake. No, wait, yeah, it's Blake. We hear Blake say about them not wanting to be pushed around anymore, and that, she actually just leaves. And it's something that not a lot of people thought at first, except for, Penny, because, Penny's an android. Now, they all go hunt, they go for the search of, Blake. And it's Deku, RWBY, and, Deku, RWBY, Weiss, and Yang, and then Penny comes along. Deku just goes by himself, because it's better that they all split up. And Deku is wondering, how is he going to search for her? He does have he does have his Ghost Rider abilities, but it's not like it's the best hunting ability. I mean, yeah, I could search for souls that are evil, but Blake's soul isn't evil, I guess. Yeah, she's part fauna, but it's not like it's a bad thing. Anyway, Deku's kind of confused, and he talks to his Ghost Rider counterparts. Them talking about, first, how awesome it is to have these abilities and to come out every once in a while. And Deku he still has some kind of trust issues. Not that he doesn't trust him, but because he fears the power itself. Because it's not a holy power. I mean, I don't think it's a holy power. I think it's a holy power. You know what? I'm going off track on this. But Deku is just wandering around now, and he's looking up and he's trying to find them. He doesn't know what to do. He himself believes that Blake isn't as honest as she should have been. But she knows, but he knows that she's not doing it out of hatred or out of malice. She's doing it because there's something that kind of makes her afraid. Deku understands that she's in fear right now. She's kind of lost. So Deku, being him, he says that no matter what, he's gonna try to help her out because he cares about her. And yeah, I know that I kind of made my I kind of made my stance on this pretty clear about wanting Deku to like have a harem, but I'm not going to do it to the point where automatically everybody's falling for him. We're gonna start off with Blake at first, then we'll go to Weiss, then Ruby will want a part of this, and then Yang. I'm going to try to make it to where everybody just comes together. No pun intended. Boy, I like this. Anyway. Deku's walking, and he's trying to find them. And he does see someone that looked like Blake, but it wasn't. So they wait until they're searching them until nighttime. And at night, well, Deku is hearing explosions, and Deku realizes that there's something wrong. So this is when he starts, he gets his bike. And I'm going to say right now, as far as I know, or as far as I'm going to say it, he has a motorcycle, a skateboard, and also a bicycle. So he grabs his bicycle because, you know, he can go fast, but I don't know. I guess it's more apparent for him since he's ridden a bicycle more than he's ridden a motorcycle. But anyway, Deku is just riding and riding and riding, and once he finds out what's happening, he sees Ruby and Penny, and I think he will know who Penny is. I think I've already said it before. I know who Penny is, or I think I know he knows who Penny is, and yeah, he would grab his chain and throw it there, and just yeet himself onto the thing. And he hears Ruby and Penny talk, and this is when Deku is there, and Ruby is kind of like, she basically kind of like falls to the ground because she was like scared, and she says, "Deku," and Deku says, "Ruby, are you okay?" And this is when she hugs him and says, "Yep." Now, wait a minute. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I kind of forgot. It was actually Yang. That was supposed to be a thing with Deku. I kept saying Blake because I kind of get those two people. I kind of get two mixed up because I thought Blake. I usually always thought that the name Blake was like Ruby's sister, and Yang would have been like Blake. It was kind of a mismatch. So if I get the wording messed up, I apologize, you guys. But anyway, Deku says what's going on, and she says that Blake and this dude that they don't know. I forgot his name right now, so we're gonna call him the Monkey King. Oh wait a minute, his name is Wukong. Never mind. So Wukong and Blake and Wukong are fighting off the guy with the red hair, with the top hat, whose name I forgot already. And while doing that, Deku is seeing like a couple of ships, and he sees that, and one of them shoots at, I think it was the guy with the top hat, or I think it was the ships. I think it was the ships. But either way, one of them attacks Ruby, and Deku gets hit because he just protects her. And Deku is on the ground, and he's just like in pain. And then he tries to get up. And this is when he's about to turn to his Ghost Rider form. But this is when Penny decides to show off her abilities, and Deku's more impressed about this. And this is when Deku sees what she is, and he says, "Oh my gosh, she's an android." And this is when Ruby says, "Nah, she can't be an android." And Deku says, "Oh yeah? Why does she have all these abilities? Why can she control things and shoot an Omega Death Beam Ray at a freaking airplane? And this is when Ruby says, "Okay, you got a point." And Deku says, "I always have a point, but this is not the time, nor the place." So Deku just jumps down to the ground, and he just starts running. Sorry about that. While running towards towards Penny, the guy with the red hair, with the top hat, he basically leaves. And I would have made it to where Deku would have chased him, but really, I mean, there's no point if he would have caught him, because he knows that there's going to be a bigger plan next time. So by just chasing them around, it will automatically mean that they won't be able to find them in the very end. So the whole gang meets up again. Deku's sitting with Wukong, and he's saying, "Is she okay?" And Wukong says, "Yeah, she's alright. She has a lot of issues right now, but that's nothing that you guys won't be able to handle." And Deku says, "Thank you for protecting her." Wukong says, "Don't worry, I have your back, bro." And yeah, and you know what? This is a quick side note. Besides Yang, this is the only blonde male with you know, that actually is nice to him. So it's kind of a weird coinkydink. Coinkydink. Anyway, Yang and Weiss walk up to Blake. But this is when, you know, Ruby says, like, you know, she's okay, and the cat ears and the kitty ears, you know, you can't, it's a big mistake. And, you know, Weiss tells her that in the very end it doesn't matter anymore, to come find them first, because it's sad that, you know, they had to, well, it's sad that they had to go for, you know, somebody else besides, I think, what, I know what Weiss is trying to say, but in my own words, I think she just meant come to your teammates first, and if you need our help, we'll have your back, and please don't run away, because it'll make us sad if you do. So yeah, that kind of thing. Now, Deku and Wukong just walk away from this whole situation, because I feel like, because they know that it wouldn't be so good if they just were there still while Blake was being talked to, and, you know, having a moment to themselves. But, you know, Blake does think Deku, but they're gone already. Yang is pretty much happy that they got the team back together, and I don't know what I said last time, but I don't feel like Deku should have his own team. That's the personal opinion. I don't think Deku needs his own team. I mean, first of all, it's another team that's not going to be used often. Not only that, it's not because of the team itself or anything. I just don't think personally that it was the right call for me to give Deku, who already has his own partner that he has like so much trust in. Well, not so much trust in, but, you know, somebody that works with him very well. I think that was a mistake. So you know what? I'm not going to do it. But, you know, the team will be, you know, their own thing. And they probably might be talked about here and there, but I'm not going to talk about them anymore. So, yeah, that's the thing. Anyway. Give me a moment here, people. Alright. Oh, sheesh. the whole Emerald and Mercury thing, that still goes on. Yeah, that still goes on. There really is nothing like, there's no freaking Deku just coming to save the day. No, it still happens. The Luma Wuma Puma dies. If you don't know, I'm talking about the book, the librarian, or is he a librarian or is he a bookkeep? Or is he a keeper of the books? Anyway. So that goes on. They basically fight, and you know I think he dies. I don't know if he dies or not, but Cinder told her to keep her hands clean. So okay, yeah. So he died. Now Deku and the others are eating and stuff, and Ruby wants to make one final plan, and Yang eats the food, but she also is about to she gets hit, and then she throws it at someone, and after that, the pie goes onto Weiss's face, and, food fight happens. Deku is kind of on the side of this, because he doesn't know whether to fight his buddies, or the people who are technically gonna fight them. He's on the sidelines, but we'll get to that right now. So, while they're all doing their thing, Deku and, well, there's Deku, there's also the guy that looks like a ninja, and Wukong, they're on the sidelines. But Deku gets hit a couple of times, which he says, screw it, and he grabs something, which is kind of dumb. It's kind of dumb, but it has no... I don't care, to be honest. Deku grabs a piece of bread, he cuts the insides out, makes the outside and the inside as hard as freaking metal. Or technically, he's not gonna make it as hard as metal. He's just gonna do something. After that, he gets something from he gets the piece of metal or something from the swordfish, and after that, grabs a couple of sausage rolls and starts linking all these things together, and then grabbing the cans from the back, and he just makes himself a delicious shotgun, which just shoots off the cans. And after that, while shooting off the cans, he's just doing his whole thing. Oh, and not only that, Deku becomes the Ghost Rider, and this is just for fun's sake. Ghost Rider is pretty much just eating the food that's being thrown at him, and not only that, he's pretty much cooking the food and just like eating it himself while food is almost being thrown at him, but it burns away as it touches Deku. So yeah. They're all having their own fun, and even the Ghost Rider's having fun. Need I say more? I don't think I should. Oh, and yeah, Dr. Ozpin and, I forgot her name too, apparently. Her name, the witch, I don't think she's a witch, but, you guys know who she is. The head mister, I don't know, to be honest. The vice president? No, the vice principal. Now, while they're all done with their thing, Deku goes on and he starts to what's the word? He starts to just eat the food, and everything's being put back together. Yang falls out in the air, but Deku catches her, and he pretty much just, he accidentally just drops her, and she's about to get mad. She's about to get mad right now, but in the very end, everybody starts laughing. Now, we go to the whole Cinder thing. And yeah, it technically is kind of revealed that they do die. They do die. They da. Anyway. After that, there's Emerald and Mercury. Now, these two are the whole thing. It's pretty much the villains are doing their own thing, but some changes are going to be happening because she knows that there's a foe that might just be as strong as her. And if you don't know who it is, it's the Ghost Rider itself. Now, give me a moment here, people. Anyway. So, sorry about that. Sheesh. Okay, so I know it's after the whole freaking thing with Mercury and freaking Emerald. They pickpocket off of Roman, which I found out. Well, that's his name, the dude with the top hat. They do their whole thing. Now, the whole fight, the food fight thing, it still happens. And then after that, we get to the whole point where people are playing with board games. Deku's not a part of this, but this is when, everybody's conquering stuff. Deku was with Team Juniper and Juniper. Oh, okay, yeah. So, he's with Team Juniper, just reading, doing all that stuff, and he's looking around to the back. They're all talking. Then, Blake is upset because she wants to fight them, and they know they're not gonna wait until graduation. Just gonna say that. Okay. Now, they're all fighting. Deku is wondering what's going to happen next. And what happens next is pretty much simple. Everybody's going to make a plan. Ruby is telling... not Ruby. Why she's asking why Blake is becoming, more distant as usual. More distant than usual. Sorry about that. They're asking why they're being more distant than usual. And this is when Deku This is when Blake says, I need to fight them. Then they're not going to wait until graduation to do that. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. And while going at this, Ruby, does her own thing. Like, everybody says aye. Nobody says it. But Deku, as always, comes to the rescue saying aye. There you go. Ruby's a little more happier now. But she forgot her board game. And what is going to happen? Give me a second here, people. Okay, people. So everybody's going to do their whole plan. They get out of school. Jean does his whole thing. Deku kind of feels bad for him and says, "You'll find someone one day. I believe in you." And this is when Deku and the others go to the Ruby's room, or as they like to call it, their headquarters. They all get their stuff prepared. Deku wears his jacket. I don't think I'm going to make this one leather, because I'm going to make it more of an armor kind of thing. Deku is going to look like he's wearing a jacket, but it's not going to be made out of leather. It's going to be more made out of, I don't know. It's going to be something, though. Deku will, how do I say it? He will try to go and fight, well, not fight. He will try to get information by himself. This is when Sun Wukong and Neptune decide to, join in the party. Then it's like Ruby, it'll be like Wukong, Blake, Yang, Deku, Weiss, Ruby, Neptune and you know what? Neptune will join freaking Blake and Deku. I think that's something right there. No, not Blake and Deku. Yang and Deku. Sheesh. Sorry about that. So that whole thing happens right there. Deku gets ready, and everybody does their own thing. Now, Ruby does go and talk to Penny, which that still happens, and Deku, Yang, and Neptune are going to get their information. Blake and Blake and Wukong, they're gonna be there. So everybody's gonna do the whole thing. Now, the whole thing with Weiss when she talks to everybody, when she goes to the terminals, and she doesn't talk to her dad, but she was more willing to do it somehow because I don't know, she wanted to do it, but I guess she couldn't in her own way. Deku does go with them, and they do ride their Deku does ride his motorcycle this time, and Yang brings her motorcycle as well. So give me a moment here. All right. So I'm back, people. Guess what? It took me. It was like it was an hour or something happened. Something bad happened outside, so I had to fix some stuff. But now that I'm back, guess what? The whole thing with Ruby and Penny, she does find out, and she is kind of shocked, but at the same time, she's been with Deku. Like, she's been with Deku for so long, it doesn't even affect her. Alright? That's the thing. It doesn't affect her at all whatsoever. So when she tells her that, you know, she's not human, but she says that there's something that makes her have these emotions, she says that, she says that Deku is technically human, but he also has something not human within him. So she understands. She's not as freaked out because she's already been with the Ghost Rider. So she says that it's okay. There's nothing to fear. And this is when Deku sneezes because, you know, stuff is being talked about him. Deku realizes that, Ruby realizes that it's okay. She's not going to hate him, or she's not going to hate Penny, but she still needs time to process this because Deku was the only person that she knew that was like this. So she's gonna have some time, but eventually she's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's okay. I'm 100% fine with this. 100% fine with this. Nothing bad's going to happen. So hold on here. Give me a moment here, people. So yeah, that's what happens. Penny and Ruby are still friends. She still talks about, you know, Deku, and yeah, it's because of, I guess, more of the fact that it's because that Deku is who he is. You know, because I didn't like the whole thing like, oh, it doesn't matter how whether you're human or not. Oh, everybody is something in the very end. It's like, it was okay. I just needed there to be like some oomph to it, like she's already seen it before. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to do a little bit of that, kind of change how the perception was. Now, Deku, Blake, and Neptune, they all go there. Deku sees the guns like drawn out, Yang and him, and Deku, he takes the lead this time, and he just starts, heating up the area, and he has his shotguns on hand, and he says, "Everybody, just put your guns down. We don't need this violence. You don't need me to be violent, buddy. You will thank me for this." And this is when the bartender says, hey, come on now. Let's all be, kind. Let's all be doing whatever. The guy is like, I do not want any trouble from her, and the guy that, looks like a hellspawn. And Yang has shown off that her, I guess, kid brother, which isn't actually a brother, but she's seen she's like showed them a couple of times that this guy is not someone to be messing around with. Even she would have to go bald. Deku would have had to cut off all of her hair in order for her to fight as hard as she could. That would be something, and I did not want to do that. So, yeah. Deku becomes not agitated no more, meaning he's not going to be angry. So while everybody else is everybody else is doing their thing, Blake and Wukong, or Sun, do see what's happening, and they know that they've nagged a couple of those robotic creatures. And they're hearing everything, and they decide to try to get out of there as soon as possible. Now, while that's happening, Roman sees what's going on, and he's saying, everybody, we have to hurry this up. We have to go get those two. Otherwise, they might cause mass, chaos between everybody, because they know what's going to happen. Deku and Yang and Neptune, they're already done. And that everything was okay, because Deku looked at him, and he starts to, like, actually see his soul, but they don't use the pennant stare. They've known that he's done bad, which, for that, he does get blinded for a couple of days, saying that if he sticks with this crime, it's going to add up more and more and more, which means he's technically going to go to hell. Yeah, that's still going to be a thing for him if he doesn't, change up his attitude. So, Deku and the others, they do their own thing. Roman is chasing Blake and Wukong. And not only that, Deku and the others are, talking to Neptune, talking to Wukong and Blake. And they basically hear what's happening. They see the robot. And Deku says, "All right, we gotta go save them." And yeah, they're all chasing after him. Give me a moment here, people. Let's see here. All right, so the whole thing with the robot chasing all of them is that, well, Neptune does his whole thing, and Wukong does their whole thing, and Deku does his thing by trying to slam into the freaking, into Roman's robotic armor. And, well, he tries to, push it away, but it causes, Wukong and Neptune to fall away somewhere else. Now, this is when Deku pretty much pushes him for a final time, which causes Roman to fall. And he becomes on the ground, he gets on the ground, and everybody is, in position. So when Deku reverts back into his human form and just talks to the rest of the people, and, Weiss does her thing, and, Weiss and Yang create the smoke screen. This is when Roman tries to find out what's happening and where are they at. Everybody except for Deku. Because Deku just walks up to him, and this is when Roman says, "Oh, you came to me nice and slow," and this is when Deku says, "Not quite." This is when Yang punches Roman, the robot in the back, and this is when Deku gets a shotgun and just shoots him a couple of times, causing the robot to be pushed back little by little. Yang, instead of Yang, this time it's Ruby and Ruby and Yang. No, Ruby and Blake with the whole ladybug effect. And while doing that, they all start fighting. This is when Weiss pulls up to the scene and just starts fighting with Blake and Ruby. Deku just finds a weapon that he wants to use this time, and he thinks that maybe something that what's her face? I forgot. Not Pyra. Nora. What Nora does. And he uses some kind of weapon that kind of resembles Nora's, and basically just starts running and slamming the hammer down to the robot's head. And this is when Deku pretty much slams it on his side. While this is happening, Yang and Blake do their whole bumblebee effect, and this is when they start hitting each other. Well, hitting not Nora. They hit Roman, And Roman is getting upset. This is when he tries to use full force, but Deku turns into the Ghost Rider. And he shoots out a bunch of fire, beating up the freaking robot, causing the robot to basically be explode, and Roman gets away. Now, with that in mind, what was it? Sheesh. Neo, because if you don't know who Neo is basically a girl with brown, I think black brown hair and pink hair. And if you guys don't understand what Neo represents, it's basically Neapolitan. It's the ice cream that's basically strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. Which I have to admit, I want some ice cream. But anyway, so Deku is about to run after them, but they're just gone. So they have to, stay there, and instead of Blake, instead of Yang that does this whole thing oh jeez, I'm so sorry, you guys. Yang talks to freaking Blake, but instead of Yang, it's Deku, and Deku explains it. Deku explains what had happened, and she explains like, oh yeah, Deku was born. No, not Deku. This is when they were talking. Deku was talking to her about like the past, and there's different things. Basically, Deku and Yang were pushing the wagon, but they're pretty much tired. They looked at the creatures, and this is when, I will say it at first. This is when Yang saw this is when Deku explains that Yang saw his Ghost Rider form, and Yang if it was Yang that was talking about it, she would have said something about, oh yeah, like the Crow saved the day or something like that, but she kind of had a fake memory implanted in her head. And this is when Deku just starts burning up from the inside, not knowing what's happening. This is like the first ever transformation at a young age that I would think would kind of be weird, but Deku pretty much started to attack the creatures, and he lost, but at the same time, with the Ghost Rider like within him, he would have won. He wins by burning them and destroying them and killing off with just his bare hands, just screeching out loud. Blake would have probably passed out due to all the fatigue and the fear that she felt, and the mystery and the curiosity of what had happened to Deku. Everything would have been weird if Deku didn't actually. Well, they would have died, but because Crow because Crow calmed Deku down, Crow never explained to him what had happened. That's the real thing. That would be the real thing. And if that wasn't good enough, there would have been bad things happening. But because Crow saved the day, well, technically Deku saved the day, but Crow finalized it by himself by killing the rest of the creatures that were there. Deku pretty much passed out, and he remembered. He remembered while being in school in Beacon Academy. That's the whole thing right there. So Yang is like curious, but Deku pretty much grabs her and starts to basically put energy in her soul right now by using the Ghost Rider's ability of healing, causing Blake to be fully back to her normal self, to her normal self. So yeah, that's what happens. Now, the whole thing with the dance party, it goes the same way as planned. It goes as planned, but there's some changes again. So, the whole thing with Jean, and Ruby. I mean, Jean and sorry. The whole thing with Jean and Deku, him talking to her, Deku talking to Jean, telling him what to do and what's going to happen when it happens, because he knows that Jean likes Weiss. Deku kind of likes Weiss, and it's a slow thing. Like I said, it's a slow freaking process. Pretty much everything goes as planned, but except for the whole thing of not Mercury. Sheesh, what's his name again? Neptune liking him, or Neptune and Weiss. That whole situation blows out of proportion, and everything falls into place as in the original anime. Deku is dancing with the others. So Ruby is still doing her thing, and she fights off. And I'm not going to put Deku to the whole fight, because I feel like that would be dumb. It doesn't always have to be Deku, because Ruby technically is a part of the show too. So yeah, hopefully everybody will like that. And let's see, give me a moment here, people. Alright, so the whole thing after that is, well, Ruby, Deku, Yang, Blake, or Weiss are gonna go to their mission. Deku, yeah, like I said, yeah, he's stuck with them. I would have put them in Team Juniper, but I don't know where they're gonna go to. So, yeah. Now, say everything happens in order. We're gonna go to the whole thing with Ruby. Now, Ruby does the whole thing where something happened, and, you know, Ironwood does his whole thing. But what happens is this. All you hear after the whole thing with Ironwood talk is, like, probably a minute after that, all you hear is like, and then a crack of windows just happens, and then all you see is just somebody on a freaking motorcycle. But it's not anyone, it's the Ghost Rider himself. And he's mad. And he's like, not mad, he's very mad. Well, technically that's mad. This is when all you see is Deku coming out of the fire, and it's Deku looking at freaking. He is mad at the. At first he's mad at the three of them, but this is when he just he holds Ruby and says that, is she all right? And that basically he was worried sick about her. That's because Deku, since Deku is technically part of the family, he has these feelings though. He doesn't know that's like genuine love, like, right there. But he was sad when he found out that something bad happened to her. Deku looked at them and said, what happened to her? And this is when, well, you know, I forgot her name, Gladys or Gilda or Hilda. She's like, this insolent kid, what are you doing breaking the windows? And this is when freaking Ozpin says, it's alright, let's all calm down. Izuku, you understand that. Well, we understand how you feel. And Deku says, what happened to her? Why did I find out that she was fighting somebody? Not only that, why was there somebody, in the school? This is when Yang said that something happened. Ruby is with the others. They're at Ozpin's office. So yeah, Deku actually went out of the party and he decided to just drive around. As anybody would do, and if you guys don't believe me, go to a party and after that, just watch. People will just leave and then come back, or they'll just be gone. I've done that a couple of times before. I do not want people to, I don't want my family to hear this. But okay. So Deku holds on to her and says, "Ruby, don't you fight the enemies without somebody helping you out." And she's wondering who is this person, and this is when she says that this person used glass, and Deku was like, glass, and was kind of wondering after that. She also said that there's other stuff I forgot, but Deku just says, "All right, you're coming with me, Pipsqueak." Ruby says, "I'm not that small." And Deku says, "Yeah, not that small." So he basically tells her to hang on, and they basically just jump out of the window again, as if Gladys didn't fix the window again. And yeah, so they go into the classroom, or they go into the thing, and Deku meets with the others. Now, Ruby and Yang and Deku get the surprise of seeing Svein. And this is a German name if you guys don't understand, so if I mess it up, to any Germans out there, please, help me pronounce this word, because it is kind of hard to pronounce. So yeah, now they all go and talk with the Ozpin after they try to go to the southeast somewhere, and Ozpin was like, "Oh yeah, I will never know what happened to A, B, C, and D, but I'll let we'll bend the rules a little bit." Deku was like, yeah, all right, Ozpin, you know what, you're not that bad of a dude after all. And well, now after everything else that had happened, they're going to see their teacher, or whoever, the hunter who's going to follow them, and they're going to find out that it's I forgot his name, but give us a moment here, please. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so while the dog hunter, while Dr. Oblique, which I don't know who Oblique is, Oblique asks everybody, why they wanted to be hunters, or huntresses, or hunters, or huntsmen. Now, at any other point, oh yeah, I also forgot, the Deku knew about the dog, but he didn't know what to say, and not only that, Oblique was okay with it, as per usual. Everybody asked, they ask everybody. Yang is the same way, Weiss, Yang, Blake. I don't think he would ask Deku. I mean, I don't know about that, because Deku is just a part of the team. He isn't just, the leader. Technically he is the leader, but he technically isn't the leader, so... yeah, I feel like Deku, if anything, Deku would just want to do it because it's fun for him. Not only that, his siblings are doing it, so he wants to be close by. He doesn't know what's going to happen next, so he will try to protect the people. And and he's going to do it with or without anybody's help. So if that's the case, he would ask him, but really nothing else. Besides, we will talk about. We're going to talk about the whole, finding the Roman and the rest of the people mission. So give me a moment here, people, and a zap. All right, so. Oh, she's got the hiccups. But we know that in the game, we know in the rwby thing, they have to all go to sleep. Ruby still gets lost, and when everything is opened, Deku instantly wakes up when Ruby falls down. Why? You guys ask? Well, it's because there's so much freaking dead. Now, what do I mean? Well, I remember telling you guys that his semblance had something to do with ice. And not only that, he had a shotgun. So, yeah. And also another semblance to use fire. But the thing is, he had a thing already, but it's not a quirk. It's not a semblance. It's an ability that only Ghost Riders have. The Riders have the ability to sense the dead. Somewhat like the ability for him to sense Grimm. But with all this happening, the tomb let out so much dead souls that were there for so long. Deku instantly woken up, asking what had happened. But this is when Svein walks all the way over there, and they all start to run. Technically just chase after Zwei and follow him. Ruby still gets hurt, and she is getting taken to, well, I forgot where it was, but she gets taken to the place where Roman is at, and yeah, Deku automatically gets upset, and this is when Oobleck says what's happening, that this was a tomb full of dead people. That is why Deku has found out that's why he woke up, because the dead are now free and getting out of there. But only Deku could see there being dead people. Now, Deku is now running and running and running and running in his head. He's thinking what's happening and what's to do. But before Oobleck can turn his coffee machine or his coffee cup, which I'm not gonna lie, a coffee cup turning into a bat / cannon. No, I don't care. That is awesome. But in the end, Deku just jumps in. So, that is where I'm going to leave it off. If you guys like the thing, if you like it, just subscribe to the channel, and that'll be it. But anyway, I have to go. It's about to be my time to go to sleep, and I gotta go to work. But this is the Fallout with a Fear. Bye.